controversy surrounding Guardians of the Galaxy's director James Gunn is non-stop. So let's discuss this. What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to address James Gunn's controversy. If you don't know who this guy is, he is the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, the very famous Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was recently fired by Disney because of very offensive tweets. Now, if you don't really know the story, basically what happened, he got into arguments with people on Twitter over political arguments. That's why I really hate talking politics, you know. But anyways, he was talking on Twitter with people, probably not in a very nice way. And he pissed off some people, and then they went after him and discovered that very offensive tweets on his account from like a decade ago. And because of that, before the story even blew up, Disney had already made a decision and really fired him right away. And now the story still continues because the fan has started a petition because they want him back. We also have a few of the Guardians of the Galaxy actors that came forth to try to defend him. One of them is Dave Bautista. Pretty much what he said on an IndieWire article here. I will put the articles that I'm discussing below. And he said that, it's very unfair, the treatment that was given to him. Zoe Saldana right now, she said that she's pretty much trying to assess what happened in order for her to actually say anything about it. But she does say on her tweet that she loved all the Guardians of the Galaxy family. Chris Pratt pretty much answered with a tweet with a Bible verse saying, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. Let every person be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger." James 1:19. And the other actor, what's his name? Forgot his name. He pretty much left Twitter because he said he can't take the whole controversy that is going on right now. And on top of all of this, there's also another person that came forth on our article over here, Lloyd Kaufman Sales, pretty much saying that Disney are a bunch of hypocrites because their movies have been very sexist all this time, and it's just not really fair for them to fire him because he's the nicest guy ever. So all of this stuff is going on. A lot of the fans actually want him to return, and that's why they started this petition. But obviously there's a lot of people that are divided on it, Now, what do I think about this whole thing? First of all, these tweets are kind of a decade ago. But the problem is that the tweets are very disturbing, and they're not only one, there are a lot. Okay, so you could tell that if you're seeing this kind of tweets out there, you could probably tell that this is not a very nice person. At least this was 10 years ago. Now, do I believe that people really they cannot change ever? They cannot redeem themselves? I believe that people can totally change. I definitely believe it because I have met people that they completely turned their lives around. They got out of they used to be terrible people, and now they're better people. Some people, they had a kid and then they decided to change, and some other people, I don't know, they don't want to be their ugly self anymore. So I believe that people can change. My biggest issue with it is that the tweets are very disturbing. They're not a joke at all. And in my mind I was like, why would someone even joke about these things? The tweets were like about pedophilia, they're about rape, they're about like laughing at people with AIDS. Like, it's terrible, horrible stuff. So it's very easy for us to judge right now, but again, I don't really condemn Disney for firing the director because, it's very hard for you, even though this was a decade ago, but it is really hard for you to associate your company to someone that, put out in the world this horrible, offensive tweets. In my opinion, not even offensive, but disturbing. But that doesn't mean that he's not changed, Today, all these actors are coming forth to defend him and pretty much saying that he's a great person, and he shouldn't be treated this way. So this puts the movie in a very delicate position because right now he already delivered the script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And if there's one thing that we know for sure is that when someone else's take over a director's vision, okay, it usually doesn't go well, okay? For instance, we see Justice League, it started with Zack Snyder, and then they had to bring in another director because tragedy happened to Zack Snyder's family, so he couldn't finish the film. And then Justice League, it's kind of a mess of a film, okay? You can totally see that there were two directors there. There's also Solo, you know, Solo is also a thing that directors were fired and another one was brought in. But the difference is that James Gunn has not started production yet. So perhaps in this case scenario might be a little bit different. However, I mean, if you look at the Terminator franchises, for instance, Terminator 1 and 2 is where we have James Cameron as the director. However, when James Cameron wasn't involved as the director, the franchise just started going down and down and down. You know, even though they have good action here and there, but the story itself, the tone of the movie changed after James Cameron was no longer involved. So, I mean, this is bad for Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I really love the films, but it is bad for the film because to bring a different director to fulfill someone else's vision, I mean, sometimes, for the most part, it doesn't really work. Disney really didn't think about that because of the level of offensive tweets that were out there. I mean, you cannot really, there's no defending what he wrote, you know. Now, my personal opinion on all of this is, I think that, I mean, I don't like condemning anyone because I don't think, you know, every single person has their ugly sides. Every single person, I think every single one of us can improve on some areas in our lives. You know, nobody's perfect. However, I don't really think that Disney did a bad thing by firing him, because the stuff that he wrote out there, it's really ugly, and it's hard for you to have that to be associated with Disney films, for instance, you know, because Disney films are for kids and for families. And then you have the director that, even though these tweets were 10 years ago about you know, horrible offensive things, it's still, I mean, right now I feel like he's really paying the consequences. And when he came forth talking about this, it seems like he understands the reason why he was fired, you know. But it seems that a lot of people are willing to forgive him, you know, fans and a lot of actors. But then let's have a look at this article over here, and it says, this one is the one about Kaufman and what he said on the video. He said, on Saturday, Kaufman posted a brief video on his Twitter account from San Diego Comic-Con, which the 72-year-old filmmaker clutched a doll based on the lead character from his film, The Toxic Avenger. In a 15-second video, Kaufman called Gunn the nicest, most generous, talented, and decent person I've known in my 50 years of making movies. However, in a longer version of the video provided to IndieWire, the director, Kaufman, continues by arguing that Disney's decisions to fire is hypocritical. And basically, he's just laying out that they shaped culture to be sexist by putting a lot of like stereotypical princesses out there and blah 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 blah. So I think this controversy will continue, and you know, people are going to be taking sides, and we can expect to see a lot of ugliness out there, because now obviously you're going to have the people that want to defend him and the people that are against him. Okay. Anyways, guys, that's my opinion on James Gunn's situation. You know, I truly believe that people can be redeemable. We take Star Wars as an example. We see how dark Darth Vader went, and then he ended up being redeemed at the end. And that's why I love Star Wars so much, because you can definitely draw parallels with real life. So I totally believe that people can redeem themselves and become a better person, you know, and forget about their old ways. That's me. That's how I like to see life. However, if the person is really changed or not, that's really very personal, you know. We're never really going to know. All we know is that these ugliness that he was doing on Twitter was over a decade ago, and after that he stopped. We also know that he deleted the tweets pretty fast, and again, that looks very suspicious because again, if you're deleting stuff, it's because you have something to hide. But right now, I just think that he's paying the consequences of a big error, and I really don't see how else Disney could have dealt with the situation. Taking the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy is so big amongst families and children. But again, I don't see this controversy stopping anytime sooner, especially now with a lot of famous people coming forth trying to defend him, as well as a lot of, the petition trying to bring him back. But I believe Feige is also very smart, and he's going to find someone capable enough to carry the franchise forward. If the person will be able to carry the same vision, I don't know, because I know that Guardians of the Galaxy, I think the first one was my favorite, but they're both pretty good in my opinion. So I really liked his job, and what I hope is that he's a changed person, okay? Like his brother said. So I try to believe, to see the best in people, and people should be redeemed, that they should be forgiven. However, they also need to learn that they need to pay for their mistakes, and that's what is happening right now. So I think that that's pretty much what I think. I'd love to hear your opinion. Drop a comment below and let me